has contacted us and kindly offered us some of his consulting services as far as children are concerned and fathering and children. And we do have a lot of questions for him about, especially regarding families and parenting and family court, with a special emphasis on fathers, obviously. So I'd like to introduce Stephen. Stephen, hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm well enough.
Excellent. Thanks for, we got a time zone difference, so thanks for staying up to talk to us today.
Not a big problem. I'm currently on vacation, so that's all right.
Oh, thank you, Stephen. So, Stephen, I remember talking to you before, and you mentioned that you are in Canada and in the U.S. It's something to do with your credentials as far as childcare is concerned. Can you tell us a little bit about that program and your background in Germany?
Well, that's pretty easy. In Germany, we have a special type of job training. It's called, well, the best translation is state-approved educator. It's basically more or less the equivalent of a bachelor's degree in pedagogics, but it focuses more on the actual practical aspect of childcare, and it is broader than just childcare. For example, the training also includes work with people with disabilities and elderly people.
Okay, so it's like child psychology almost?
Well, that's part of it. It's not as focused on theory as if you study pedagogics, but instead focuses on, well,
the
how
application.
to actually care for children in practice.
Okay, that's an interesting. So we don't have that in. That's very interesting that that's a program you have in Germany. And do you know of any other countries that have something similar to that?
I don't know of any. In Germany, this is a job training that takes 5 years. So, well, technically it's 2 years. You have kind of a preparatory course. It's called a social assistant, and that's the prerequisite to go into the, well, formal training as an educator. And that's 3 years. So together it's 5 years.
Okay, with the younger kindergarten age children, right? Where you work?
Well, that's where I put the focus. During the training, you can put emphasis on different areas. My personal focus is on early childhood education, so basically children aged 3 to 6.
Okay. Okay, so we have spoken before about parental alienation, and I guess you've had a bit of time to think about some of the questions I asked you.
Yes.
So I guess we'll just jump right into it, like how we want to help, like some of the, I guess, applied areas that we need help with at Cafe. Some of the assumptions about parenting after divorce, but so you have an understanding of parental alienation, what that is?
Yes, we have kind of the same problem in Germany, although in Germany the relevant laws have been augmented over the last couple of years, so it's more equal. It's easier in Germany for fathers to get custody, to simply get to see their child.
Okay.
Of course, there is still a lot of bias in court, but for the most part, you have a real chance as a father to get to see your child, to be active in your child's life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask you, like, you had some suggestions for fathers at family court. So I just want to start off with that because they were really good suggestions about how you say, like, what kind of things can men do, fathers do, as there is clearly a bias. So what can they do to help themselves? Like, how can they conduct themselves in family court? From someone that, you know, and also how can they help their child through if they're the ones being antagonized, or you know, this advice could be to mothers. Sometimes they're the target of parental alienation. So what could a parent do if they're being targeted, and like how can they act in court, and how can they help their child?
Well, first of all, you should try to avoid going to court. That's unfortunately that's not always possible.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to court,
mm-hmm.
number one rule is do not. I suggest and make kind of a dream scenario. What you want, ideal. If you have these two lists, try to aim for what you do. It helps you to not get overwhelmed from the entire court atmosphere. Also, your partner might very well, or your lawyer partner might very well try to get you to flip. Because if you flip, it's basically over.
Yeah, especially if you're a man, right?
Especially if you're a man. If you're a woman, that's...
I've seen women get away with it.
So, yeah, there is a lot of leniency for women, but as a man, it's pretty much over if you flip.
Mm-hmm.
So,
don't react.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily do not react. I'd say do not flip.
Okay.
Calm and reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
And you can point out here what you're trying to do. You try to provoke me. I don't like this, and you can not prone to just flipping. That so that's the that's what the law asks of the judge. The problem is that the judge, or the preconceived notion of many judges, is that the child is, as a general rule, better off with the mother.
Okay.
That's basically where this imbalance comes from. It's because of that. As a father, it's extremely important that you show the judge, here, I have a steady job, I have a good income, I can organize my life, and this helps you to win over the judge.
You said something before about getting remarried might be a good idea too if you want custody, or have a partner, a stable partner.
It can help. This one is a little bit risky. It depends much on the judge.
Okay.
Usually, if you can show here, I have a new partner. She is to put a little polemic, she's a good woman.
And she'd be a good, good caretaker.
Exactly. This can help you, but especially if you have a judge that is a little more on the religious side, this can be obstrued as your skirt chase or something like that. So you need to be a little careful with that. Can help greatly. Can also be used against you.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, it's a little bit risky. Personally, from a pedagogic perspective, I'd say go for it. Your new partner, that's important. It's important to mind. Your new partner cannot become the mother or father for your child. That's important. Keep in mind, do not try to, well, replace her actual mother, father.
Okay.
It's not going to work, and it's probably gonna alienate your child if you try to push that.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Then.
So how can a parent help their child if they're being alienated by the other parent? What can the parent that's being alienated from their child, how can they help their child through that situation?
Unfortunately, there is, if your partner is determined to not have contact with the child, it's quite hard. There isn't much you can actually do, especially if you're the father. What you can do, for example, is you can try to keep in contact via proxies, like, for example, grandparents. There is one thing that you can do if it's really hard. You can ask the court for what is called supervised visitation rights. What that means is you get to see your child, like, well, usually it's a deal like 1 or 2 hours every week or every 2 weeks. And you will, on your visit to your child, you will be supervised by a social worker.
Okay. We also contacted at Cafe. We contacted a group in Australia. They're called Eeny Meeny Miny Mo Foundation, and they focus on parental alienation. And they have support groups for the alienated parent, and that can really help the parent stay stable and have support from other parents that are alienated, and that helps keep the parent mentally healthy until the child is ready to have a relationship again, and so that parent can support the child and stay stable as long as necessary.
Yes, that's.
I'd say take care of yourself if you're the alienated parent. Take care of your own health so you can take care of your child.
It's definitely a good thing to seek help. What you should do is get your own life back on track. This helps you, it keeps you healthy, and it helps your child. And furthermore, if you get to court for whatever reason again, it helps your case. If you can say, here, I have a good environment for my child. Also, when the child turns 12, then the court is obligated to hear the child. In case of custody hearings and stuff like that.
Is that in Canada and the US too, or just in Germany?
Well, that is in Germany and in Canada too.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm not quite sure if the court is obligated to facilitate the wishes of the child at this age. I'm not quite sure about that. But the court has to, well, listen to the child. The child can
make an input. Yeah.
Yes. If the child is younger than 12, then, well, the court could choose to talk with the child, but it's not, the court is not obligated to do it.
Okay.
If the child is 12 or older, then the court is obligated to do that.
Okay. I've heard of cases where the parent, the alienated parent, stayed open and always kept the lines of communication open in case the child wanted to contact them later. And then when the child turned 18, they contacted their alienated parent, and and it worked out okay after 18. Of course, there's lots of damage and scars and pain, but at least they were able to reestablish the connection after they were 18, and it was because the alienated parent always stayed open and never gave up.
Yes, of course. I mean, that should go without saying. if you just give up on your child, then it's over. I mean, you should, if you're interested in your child, you should always stay open for conversation for your child. Yeah, like I said, problematic is when the other partner is bad mouthing you in front of your child.
Mm-hmm.
That can do heavy damage. It's illegal. I mean, it's actually illegal for the other parent to do that. But
it's not enforced.
Stuff like that is hard to prove in court.
Mm-hmm.
So usually this doesn't play much of a role unless the alienating parent is actually bad mouthing you in court.
Yeah, and then there's proof.
Mother, it's quite likely to just be tolerated. Yeah, women generally are giving much credence in court. Before I forget, one thing I want to add to the court proceedings. What I find important is if you after the court proceedings are done, and it's quite likely that you will be really angry. And it's important to not bottle that up inside of you. So after just go out and try to vent it in some socially acceptable way. For example, shout at the sky or punch a tree, whatever it takes. Yeah, mm-hmm. Because if you keep that bottled up, at some point you will explode. Mm-hmm. And it's quite likely this will be in a situation either in court or at a later point where it will just screw you over. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, get that out of your system. My younger brother told me he likes to just drive around on his scooter when he's angry and thereby vent this little, I don't know, whatever it takes for you.
Okay, thanks, Stephen. So I think that's it for today. You are very helpful. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us to help us. We appreciate it. And I'll put your contact information. I'll let people know that if they have any more questions, they can contact us, and then they can contact you. Thank you.